Right now, I wanted to talk about something related to everyone is you pushed out, and I had the idea from it's a German book. I'm going to show it for those of you who do speak German, and you see already it is about Ho'Oponopono. Maybe some of you know that during COVID I took the time and I became I made 2 Ho'Oponopono certificates. But there is something that I found really fascinating, and I'm going to translate it to you now. In 1996, they found out that in our brain, there are always the same neurons getting activated, and it doesn't matter if first we do something ourselves, second, we see someone doing something, third, we think someone had or has done something, or four, we hear about someone doing something or could do something, it said. So which means that as soon as we do have either a clear image, either we do it ourselves, we see someone doing it, or even we hear about someone doing it, or what was the other one? Or we think someone is doing it, it is activating the same neurons in our brain. What does that mean? Well, everyone is you pushed out, which means that everyone is part of you. No one is outside of you. So when you see someone doing something, it is basically another aspect of you doing that thing. And also, as we read, the same neurons are getting activated when you just think about someone doing something or hear about someone doing something. And that could be how visualization can work. You visualize someone doing something would activate the same nuance in your brain than you actively seeing that person doing something. And that would explain why the revision technique can be this powerful if you want to override an old memory. Because when you have memory, you most likely saw or experienced someone doing something, or you heard someone talking about someone doing something. And with the revision technique, we can either visually or writing it down change that memory and then repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And once that became the dominant thought, you replace the old memory, which means that even if you had like the childhood in the world, you can give yourself new memories because the same neurons in your brain are going to be activated. Also, when your person is saying something to you that you don't like to hear, or they're doing something or not doing something, like not reaching out, it doesn't really matter because you can imagine them reaching out visually, or you can, it said you hear about someone doing something, you can do the congratulations technique or like telephone technique and have an inner dialogue with your best friend telling you, oh, congratulations, your person reached out, or congratulations, you achieved XYZ. And then it is the same neurons activated than if you already had been doing it, or as if that already is happening in the now. Or you can again use affirmations, and when you say, I'm so happy, I'm in the happiest relationship with my person, it activates the same neurons in your brain than as if it was happening right now. You see why we do manifest. You see also like the importance, the revision technique of Ho'Oponopono, also amazing technique, of course. I mean, it is a book about Ho'Oponopono, this way. Amazing technique to change neural pathways in your brain, to override that. But also when you just affirm, and that also explains why something like robotic affirmations can help. So many people say feeling is the secret. Law of assumption. If you have the assumption feeling is the secret, then yes, you can only manifest if you feel it. By the way, feeling doesn't mean that if you imagine your person hugging you, you feel their arms around them, but it's more like you imagine your person hugging you and feels like, my person's hugging me, I'm so happy. That happy feeling. We don't need that physical feeling necessarily. With robotic affirmations, you also just repeat it, and there is no feeling. Because again, what did it say here? Scientists found out that the same neurons are activated when we hear someone doing something, or when we think someone is doing something. It's the same as doing it ourselves or experiencing that person doing it. So when we just think or say, when you say something, when you say affirmations out loud, automatically you think it as well, or you think your affirmations, it's the same neurons. You don't need to have that feeling, because you can, it's just a repetition. It's the repetition ultimately what wins, the one that is stronger. Which assumption? If it's the old one, or you've put enough effort in and replaced it with the new one. And that also means like every manifesting technique can help, because it doesn't matter if you see it like because you're writing it and you're doing it because when you're writing it you're thinking it, or you visualize it, or you actively see it. That also explains revising on the spot. So if you see or experience something that you don't like, instantaneously in your mind you can change that situation, or you can sit down in the evening and changing them by either like doing visually, or you write it down like you would have preferred it to happen, and read it a couple of times. When you use that technique in the evening, you want to repeat it as often until when you think back to that experience, the new one pops up first, and then just to be sure, a couple of more times. But I thought that was absolutely interesting and fascinating, and it proves that again the technique, it really doesn't matter. Okay, it is just focusing on something, and it doesn't mean if it's real or just in your imagination at that point. It's where your focus is. That is what we manifest and what your dominant assumption is. So if this video helped you, if you found it just as fascinating as me, drop your comments and like this video, please. That helps me to understand also what kind of content you like, what you're interested in, and then I can create more of that. Also, please check out my other content. I already have hundreds and hundreds of videos, all sorted into convenient playlists. Check out my social media. Information is in the description box below. And of course, you can reach out to personal coaching. And I hope I do see you there or in another video. Until then, I wish you all the best now. Bye-bye.